to try out your settings and see what it looks like on my screen.
Let's see there it is, my book.
Let's see.
Hello, everyone. Good to see you. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Lisa Marie. Good morning, Dee. How are you this morning? So good to see everyone. I want to thank everyone who is liking and sharing my live. Hello, Christine Anna. Hello, hello. So good to see everyone. Good morning, Haley. Good morning, good morning. I was just going to try something new, but I don't know. I haven't researched enough. I find myself running out of time. I'm doing all kinds of things. So tomorrow, after TikTok, I'm going to go live on YouTube, which I've never done before. And I don't have a lot of followers on YouTube. I have like, I don't know, 560 or something. So there's some rules to that until you have like 1,000 followers. So tomorrow I'm going to go live on YouTube. But today I was going to try the TikTok Studio. It's like you download it on your laptop and you go live from your laptop. But I was clicking the go live and it was like, yeah, we're not going to work for you today. So I was like, whatever. Okay, I'm not going to go live on my laptop. I'm going to go back to my iPad. All right. I want to thank everyone who is liking and sharing my live. Thank you, Haley, for sharing my live. We're going to pull some cards for Haley here. So what you do when you pull cards is you shuffle until they tell you to stop. I don't know if y'all could hear them. They were kind of like pulling. So I said to stop. Let's see what we got going on. Do you do love spells, Lauren? Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. So someone on here asked me if I do love spells. The only kind of love spells I will do is I will help you learn to love yourself, because that's all you can do. You can walk in this world learning to walk as your authentic self, and that's when you're going to attract the love that best matches you. Okay, I want you to Here goes a story. Don't you love it when people ask these questions? And I was like, okay, here we go. So I want you to think about, you're with a mate, right? You're with someone, but you've really never shown up as your authentic self. You don't speak your truth. There are things that bother you that you don't talk about. So it gives you stress, right? What do you do when you're stressed? Let's just say you hear the door open and you know that your partner, spouse, whoever is coming home, and you change something about yourself. You get on edge, you do something. And so it creates tension in you, right? What happens when you keep having tension? Hi, Miss Katie. Because you start self-medicating. You start wanting something to comfort you. What is that comfort? Is it binging on TV? Is it binging on food? Is it binging on alcohol? That's right, Haley, it builds up. So that's whenever we talk about, and so this poor person said that their ex blocked them 1 month ago and didn't get any explanation. Sweet JJ Sports, you need to allow people to be who they want to be. And if who they want to be is a jerk, then you need to allow them to do that. There's free will on this earth. So I know it's difficult. I have kids that have been through all of this, and I know it's difficult when someone just blocks you and you want to know. That is completely on them. I know you want to hear people say that, but if you were presenting yourself in your most authentic manner and you were presenting yourself in a love vibration and they're just going to block you without even telling you why, they are abandoning themselves. When you don't show up in an authentic manner, you're abandoning who you are, and so that's going to come back to bite them in the butt. All right, this is for Miss Haley. The first card we have here, Miss Haley, is the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is really about knowing who you are in this world. Sitting with your divine feminine, and yes, males can have a divine feminine also. Sitting with your divine feminine, knowing who you are in this world and being comfortable with it. Thank you. You got to that by really going into hermit mode. This tells me you've done a really good job on it. You're working on it. It's something you're striving for. How do you best understand who Haley is? By going to hermit mode. Hermit mode is when you just disconnect, not completely. It's not like you just cut everyone off, but you're making sure you're taking time for yourself. When you take time for yourself, it allows you to process what's going on around you and glean the information you need. This Ten of Swords, I know it looks terrible because it has all these swords in his back, but it's really not. It's just about understanding who you are at an unconscious level. And then putting up boundaries where you need to and surrounding yourself. The Three of Swords, the Three of anything, is really about forces and powers coming together. So going into hermit mode, gleaning the information off of everything that's gone on, putting up boundaries where you need to put them, and then making sure you're surrounding yourself with the proper people. You're doing a really good job. I hear that you have been a little frustrated with the spiritual path that you're on, and we do get that way. I get it. We will have bumps and curves and nooks and crannies to our spiritual journey, and I hear that you have kind of hit one of those bumps and you're kind of a little frustrated, but the cards say you're on the right path. I can feel it when I tap you intuitively. You're on the right path. Please keep pushing forward. You're almost at a point where you'll get to coast for a moment.
Katie asked what deck you're pulling.
Katie asked what?
What deck you're pulling from?
Oh, I'm paying for Angel Tarot. It's based on the original Rider-Waite deck. All the cards have the same meaning. They just look different. Original Rider-Waite deck, just the angel version of it. All right. I want to thank everyone who is liking and sharing. Thank you, Mason. I appreciate you. I will, social media is a beast, and you'll see me hit it hard, now back off some. Hit it hard and back off some. Someone said they are liking all my lives lately. I've been doing it, let me tell you. I've been showing up for them. All right. I want to thank everyone who is liking and sharing my live. I see Monique just sent me a heart. We're going to pull some cards from Monique. Miss Katie, I'm so glad you put that, Katie, because she says, I'm Caitlin from the Divine Collective. I thought it was a different Katie I know, so I'm glad she put that. I didn't realize it was Caitlin from the Divine Collective. Thank you for being here, Miss Caitlin. We did play with cards in the Divine Collective the other day. It's a subscription program I have. I think, Caitlin, were you there that night, Caitlin? I think you were. I can't remember, actually. But everyone got to read. We sat with the meanings of cards and we took turns reading. Yes, I thought you were, because I was picturing my screen and I think you were in the top right hand corner of my screen. And everyone got a turn reading. And the lights, oh my goodness, yes. Okay, so everyone that was at that Divine Collective had talked about the lights. Y'all want to hear the story about the lights? If y'all were on here yesterday, I said a little bit about it. That's okay, Miss Prissy Nana. We have another meeting coming up. There are plenty of meetings coming up. Miss Prissy Nana said she's in the Divine Collective, but she missed that meeting. We have plenty of more coming up. Thank you, Miss Stella. Okay, so I'm going to show y'all the light that we are talking about. It is that one. Oh, there we go. It's that one right there. See? Not blinking, right? Okay, so we're in the Divine Collective. It starts flickering. My spirits frequently get to me through this light. So this light is flickering through the entire time we're reading these cards. And I was ignoring it. I knew there was a spirit who wanted my attention. I was ignoring them. There's Dee. Dee is all, she was there too. She's like, that I was really going. It was through the Divine Collective. It's on my website, Divine Collective subscription program. We meet several times a month. So this light's flickering and I was ignoring it. Finally, one of my people in the Divine Collective said, what about this light? I was like, I know it's going. And the more I ignored it, the more it flickered. It was like, da, 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 da. So then I acknowledged it to the group. Yes, the light's flickering. Yes, there's a spirit who wants my attention. Kind of pushed it to the side. Then it would flicker, go off for a few seconds, and come back on. Flicker. It was Sunday. Saturday, I did a Demystifying Spirit event, which was where I read. Sunday was the Divine Collective. It's a much smaller group. It's a subscription program. You do have to pay monthly to be there, and we meet a lot smaller group. So, Divine Collective. And finally, I told the Spirit, okay, I knew what they wanted. I didn't want to do what they wanted me to do, so I was ignoring them. So then we talk about who it was. We talk about who the Spirit was. And then it slowed down, but it still didn't stop flickering until I actually channeled the Spirit. I knew the Spirit stepped out wanting me to channel them. These people in the Divine Collective had not all seen me channel before. I think only one of them had seen me channel before. And I don't typically channel out in public or with a lot of people around. And so I knew the Spirit wanted me to channel them. Yeah, it was. If you were there, it was very interesting. I'm sure. So now what happened is, looking back, there was things leading up to that moment that your ears close off. It does happen. You were like, woo, woo, woo. That's what my ears were doing. It was a very, very high vibrational energy. So what this is telling me that it was in this smaller group, and when I was channeling it, it just tells me I'm going to be called to channel more out in public. So, all right. I want to thank everyone who has joined my group. I thank y'all for being here. I thank y'all for sharing and liking my live. Someone had sent me, who did I mention that had sent me that? It was Mason. Mason sent me a rose. Thank y'all. So I am going to do a quick card pull for Mason. No, you do not have to send me anything but I do. When people take the time to interact with me and share my live, I do like to give them something back. All right. So now, again, the first card, Mason, in this, the card that is pulled is a very high vibrational card. It's the second card in the Major Arcana. It's the High Priestess card. This card is about power and stepping into your intuition, talking about you have all the tools and you need to start trusting yourself. There is a lot of powerful cards in this deck. In your drawing. The next one that comes up is the Queen of Wands, sitting with your Divine Feminine. Now, as I said with the last person, where I said with Haley, male or female, doesn't matter. Everyone has some divine energy in them. This is about the divine energy of your action. Where are you putting your action? Where is your motivation? Next card up is the King of Wands. Lots of wand energy. Wand energy is about action, ambition, motivation. You have recently been very set in what you want to do. I can see you're turning and you're like, I want to go that way. But you're a little bit hesitant. You are absolutely on the right track, Mason. That idea you have, you absolutely need to follow it. I'm feeling that intuitively. And the next card in the series confirms that. It's the Ace of Cups. The Ace is really about starting a new journey. It's about you have everything you need when it comes to relationships to charge forward. Lean into the relationships around you, the people that you trust. Lean into those relationships as you charge forward and you start this new journey. You're absolutely on the right track. Well done, because I'm hearing that you have done a lot of soul searching, Mason, to come to where you are right now. All right, I want to thank everyone who is liking and sharing my live. I so appreciate you. I appreciate you being here. Prissy Nana, we are studying cards in the Divine Collective. If you want to understand cards more, join my group. You go to my website, Christy Godwin Psychic Medium, Divine Collective. There is a monthly charge to it, but we are studying cards. There's a monthly meeting where I read. There's a monthly meeting where I teach. There's an ongoing chat where I answer questions. There are meditations that I record that I put out every month. There are just so many opportunities within that group.
I think she's part of you.
She's what?
I think she's part of your Divine Collective.
That's for the Divine Collective. Yes. That's a Divine Collective. All right. I want to thank everyone who is liking and sharing my live. This card is going to be for Miss Stella. See, she's sharing my live like crazy. Miss Stella, have I given Katie a reading yet? I don't think so. I don't think I have.
Prissy Nana's been doing all that too.
And Prissy Nana has also? All right. This is for Stella. Miss Stella, the first card I have for you is the King of Cups. The King of Cups is about relationships and being secure in those relationships, understanding the structure of those relationships. I want you to, this tells me that you need to sit back and understand how all the relationships in your work are in your life are affecting you. Not just your romantic relationships, but also this is a time when I see this cup, and I mean this card, and I'm tapping you intuitively. I see you starting to kind of mold your life. Spirit is showing me you actually molding your life into what you need it to be. It is time to step into the 8 of Pentacles energy. The 8 is about recognizing your limitations in how you interact with this world. Recognizing your limitations with how you interact with this world, taking the knowledge that you have learned, and I'm hearing that you have gotten some hard lessons in the last 3 years, taking the knowledge that you've learned in the last 3 years and starting a new journey. Again, understanding the structure of how your relationships have been affecting you. Understanding the limitations of how you interact on this world and how those relationships are starting to limit you, how they're requiring too much of you. Taking the knowledge that you have learned from evaluating those relationships and starting a new journey. You're on the right path, Stella. I see that the Spirit is showing me, they're giving me the visual of you're at the starting block. They're showing me a runner has their foot against a block and they're waiting for the gun to go off so they can charge forward. You are there, and I'm getting chills as I'm saying that. I mean, you are right there in the energy. So make sure you are looking at all the synchronicities and journeys and opportunities coming your way. I want to thank everyone who is liking sharing my live. I so appreciate you. Aw, was that Prissy Nana who said, yeah, I have to follow Carmen? She's so sweet.
Pretty sweet.
All right. Thank you. Thank y'all. Oh, thank you for the heart. All right. So do y'all want to continue with cards? Do y'all want to move to spirits? Everyone are, aw, you're so sweet, Prissy Nana. She says, let someone get a card. Let someone new get a card. Aw, because Prissy Nana is here. I so appreciate her. She's one of my biggest supporters. She's always on my lives, always liking and sharing them. And she's like, let someone new. I haven't seen this name, Joanna Asia. And I don't remember seeing it at all. So we'll just told me to stop. I don't know if y'all can feel that. So everyone's liking cards today. Are we not going to get to spirits? Do you want to get to spirits yet?
Just 4 people say spirit-led, spirit-led.
Spirit-led, spirit-led. Okay, we'll go to spirit-led in just a second. All right. Okay. This reading is for Joanna Asia. And honey, wow. So the cards are broken down into two sections, the major arcana and the minor arcana. Major arcana is big energy, big things happening, and I pull 4 cards. I've been pulling 4 cards for everyone. I think one other person got 1 major arcana card. Miss Joanna, every single one of your cards is a major arcana card. That tells me there is a lot of energy coming at you. You're probably feeling pretty exhausted. You're probably feeling a little bit confused because there's so much energy coming at you. First and foremost, though, lots of happy energy. You overall are looking at your journey in a very good manner, in a way that you're like half glass full kind of mentality. You're looking at it perfectly. You're having a lot of fun with your relationships. Lovers does not always mean romantic relationships. It just means relationships in general. And you are being very blessed right now in that realm. And you are very much having a lot of great opportunities to meet new people. I'm seeing, though, don't forget to take time for yourself. You're the type, Miss Joanna, I'm hearing that you have to take time for yourself or you're going to be off kilter. You're very open, you're very empathetic, and you can easily take on the energy of those around you. Yes, you are a bright light. Thank you for the heart. You're a bright light, Joanna. You're going to attract happiness. You are basically a happy, joyful person at your soul level, and you have a lot of opportunities right now when it comes to meeting new people, having fun, just really being blessed in that arena. There is a warning, though, to make sure that you are taking time for yourself. You're taking time to process what's going on around you. And I'm also hearing to make sure you remember that when someone shows you who they are, remember it the first time. You do tend to give people a lot of grace, which is not a bad thing, unless you're giving them so much grace you're not also putting up boundaries. You can put up boundaries and give people grace at the same time. Last card is a High Priestess card. When you're sitting in that hermit mode, when you're making sure you're taking time for yourself, it's just some quiet time for just you, you are listening to that inner voice. You are listening to your intuition. You are crazy clairsentient. You want to make sure you are leaning into that clairsentience and listening. All right. I want to thank everyone who is here today, and I want to thank everyone who is liking and sharing my live. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Let's do some spirit led. They're like, that's what we're here for. It's funny because even amongst other mediums, they call me the spirit machine. You're so welcome, Miss Joanna. And so it's funny, anytime someone else tries to go live with me and we try to do something outside of just mediumship, everyone's like, I need a spirit. I need a spirit. I need a spirit. It's like people see me, they think spirits, which I'm fine with. All right. Okay, I'm hearing the name Greg. I have a gentleman stepping up. I'm hearing the name Greg around him. He is instantly showing me. Now, I will give lots of evidence as I'm giving. Oh my gosh, I just got notified you were live and I've been here. That's crazy. Devin said that.
I just got it too.
My moderator said he just got it too, and I've been live now for almost
a half
15, a half hour? Good grief. That's crazy. Okay. I'm about to roll into evidence for this gentleman. When it hits, and someone else said that they just got it too. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to roll into the evidence of this gentleman. If he is yours, please say yes, he's yours, but wait for the evidence so that you're clear. I'm seeing the name Greg. He is showing me that he was buried. I'm hearing freak accident. So he passed in an accident, but he is saying it was a freak accident. He's also letting me know that he passed young. It feels like he was in his 50s. But if you're like, oh, no, that sounds like my whoever, and he was in his late 40s, I will take it. He's also letting me know he left behind a family. And, he's showing me the funeral, and everyone at this funeral has these deer in the headlight look about them. I mean, yes, there's people crying. Yes, there's people hysterical, but there's more shock about it. There's more shock about his passing because it was so sudden, and I'm just hearing, how could this happen? How could this happen? This gentleman is letting me know that he most of his life he had facial hair. A mustache. He is showing me there is a picture that is still prevalent. I'm not sure if it's hanging in someone's house, but it is framed. So if it's not hanging, it was hanging at one point because it is framed. And he is sitting, this guy feels familiar. Like what he's showing me feels familiar. He doesn't feel familiar. What he's showing me feels familiar. Anyway, he is showing me he's in this picture and he's sitting like this with his family. And it has a very like 80s feel to it, maybe 70s, 80s feel. And in his button, has that Sears look to it. Remember when Sears and Pennies would do photos? It has a Sears Pennies look to it. And there's a picture very prevalent. It was still hanging or was recently taken down. Yeah, right? Y'all remember that? This was a Sears Pennies type picture, just so we're clear on that. All right. Let me recap. If this gentleman is yours, please put a yes in the comments. As he steps up, I'm hearing a Greg name around him. He is showing me he was buried, not cremated. He was telling me he was gone like that and it was a freak accident. He passed young, feels like he was in his 50s. He had facial hair most of his life, especially a mustache, he is showing me. Also, they're talking about a picture. There's a picture that you will remember of him, and it's one of those Penny Sears type pictures, and he's sitting there with his family and turned sideways, very posed, and with, oh, he has light brown, well, I don't know, light brown hair. Let's just say brown hair. Light, dark is, I guess, relative. Does this gentleman, oh, he worked I wanted to say construction and he stopped me. Why did you stop me? Because it feels construction, dude. He is showing me, I wanted to say construction, he stopped me. He is showing me going to job sites and he has blueprints and he's rolling them up. So I'm not sure if he was an architect, what that is about, but he is showing me going to different job sites and he's rolling up blueprints. Does this gentleman sound familiar to anyone? I'm not seeing anyone grab him. All right, we'll put him on hold and we will come back to him. I want to thank everyone who is liking and sharing my live. I so appreciate you. All right, who has been sharing my live like crazy? Name pop out at you? Oh, here we
Wait a
go.
minute, is
Hmm?
Mom just having some fun saying yes to the information?
Mom just having fun can take Greg. Oh, I'm sorry.
Just now.
Thank you, Devin.
It just popped up on mine anyway.
Okay, Mom just having fun. I'm going to ask her to go live. Here we go, Mom just having fun.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Okay.
Now, what is your name?
I'm Jill,
Jill. Hi, Jill. Where are you located?
Florida.
Florida. Very good. Now, who is this gentleman to you?
I think it's my father.
Very good. Felt like a dad energy. And was his name Greg, or is there a Greg around him?
No, his name was Greg.
Okay, very good. And so what is this construction, but I'm rolling up blueprints thing?
Right. Okay. So it's not blueprints. He was a court reporter, and back in the day, it was paid like rolls of paper.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes.
That's what took
okay.
me so long.
And you know what? And that's what I just kept feeling they need to roll it up, roll
Yeah.
it up. And it's so funny that he did that because he wasn't being claimed. And so for everyone, this is for Jill and everyone watching, you know, no one was claiming him yet. And so I kept rolling up this paper. And what is this freak accident he passed in?
I don't know that it was okay. So he was pacing up and down the stairs because his chest was hurting, and I think like because unfortunately I found him, and he was like upside down at the bottom of the stairs, and so I think it was I didn't like a mixture of the heart attack and falling down the stairs.
Mm-hmm. Very good. All right. So for everyone watching, so whenever I tap into spirit, I will give information. So sometimes you will hear me correct as I'm giving information, which you saw happen was like, okay, I'm feeling construction, but he is telling me not really, and I'm rolling up this paper. So I'm giving the information as I'm getting it. And so I was about to say heart, and he stopped me. He said, no, freak. So that makes sense. So what Jill just said is that his heart was bothering him and he was pacing up and down the stairs. And the next thing you know, he's at the bottom of the stairs, kind of upside down. Also, the way spirits give me information, Jill, says so much about them. Your dad was kind of a funny guy. He had a dry sense of humor. Do you remember that about him?
Yeah.
Yes. So I know that because it's not just about what spirit show gives me, it's how they give it to me. And so just the way your dad has been communicating with me, I could feel that he was very much just had this dry sense of humor. And he is, I was like, it is kind of off the wall, a little bit inappropriate sometimes. Definitely the guy that I say couldn't sit next to me at a funeral because he'd have me laughing at an inappropriate time.
Yeah. And you wouldn't expect it of him.
And he's telling me that after all this stuff he heard and witnessed, that you just can't take life too seriously. He said you can't take it for granted and you can't take it too seriously. Jill, what he is showing me is, okay, I know what he's showing me. I'm not quite sure what it means. I'm just going to tell you. He's showing me a typewriter. Why a typewriter?
I just got one because I want to write my life story. I've had a crazy one. And I've just been itching to write it.
Very good.
And I felt like he specifically knew or something as a child because he spent some, there was 5 of us and he spent some one-on-one time with me teaching me to type. He knew that was important that I could. And even write.
I'm just getting chills as you're saying that. Your dad was pretty intuitive, and though it was just one of those hits he got, like, she needs to learn this. So this is something, and this is kind of a side note for people watching, this is something we learn in Intro to Mediumship. So your dad's done a really good job of leading me into this and allowing me to advertise my class, Jill. I appreciate him. So I do have Intro to Mediumship class starting September 4th in just a few days. It's on Wednesday nights and it is recorded if you miss it. And he is talking about this intuitive ability, and I had no idea. No, I'm seeing a typewriter. No one uses a typewriter anymore. But I was seeing it clairvoyantly, very clear, and so I knew I needed to tell this to Jill. And Jill knew exactly what I was talking about. She has recently bought one because she wants to do her life story, and there's a certain way she wants to. I'm hearing you want to pay homage to your dad by using this typewriter. Does that make sense to you?
That is a big part of it, yes. I just think it's so amazing that he knew that.
Yes. And so I love when Spirit stepped forward. For one thing, he did a great job of showing he's around you. There's no way I would have guessed that you had a typewriter that you had just purchased one. And then the fact that he knows that you are paying homage to him by wanting to type this story on a typewriter is such beautiful evidence of how much he is around you and how much he sees what's going on in your life. He's also giving you a little bit of advice in regards to that. He's showing me a calendar, and he's wanting you to make sure that you put time on your schedule to devote to this story.
Yeah, he was reading my mind right then. Because I was like, I need to stay motivated.
He was saying that to make sure you put time on your calendar so that life doesn't take it over and you just don't have time for it.
Okay.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
You too.
All right, so that was perfect. I want to thank Jill for that was her dad. He did a great job. And so for those watching, that was perfect how her dad did it and the information he brought forward. These are certainly things we learn in Intro to Psychic Mediumship. Most of my psychic mediumship people, I do have some that come out of there and go on and become go on to advance and become psychic mediums in their own right. A lot of people just want to learn to navigate this world in a much more intuitive manner. If that is you, Intro to Mediumship, it starts Wednesday. I would love to see you there. Christy Godwin Psychic Medium website, and then you go to the classes section. All right. I want to thank everyone who was liking and sharing my live. I so appreciate you. So, I thought it was odd because I could feel this gentleman so clearly. I really wasn't feeling the need to bring up another spirit right now. And then all of a sudden someone is saying, oh, this person's claiming him. I was like, oh, all right. This next person stepping up, I'm hearing David. But I'm hearing David Jr. So keep that in your pocket. This person is letting me know that they were younger when they passed, and they were taking responsibility for their own passing. They're taking responsibility in a manner that it feels like it's the feelings I get, thank y'all, that when people if you have someone who is having some mental health issues and they switch medication, keep an eye on them, because that's what he is showing me. Like, he was just a little bit out of his mind. He wasn't thinking clearly. If he had been able to think clearly, and of course, most people that take their own lives aren't thinking clearly, but he is letting me know that he really wasn't. His thinking processes, and he is showing me legal drugs. He is showing me this wasn't a self-medication type issue. He is showing me that he had been prescribed some things, and they had an adverse effect on him. He is showing me that he was one of several children, and like his passing, which I know, I mean, losing a child, but his passing was so detrimental to his mother that if these other children weren't on planet, I don't know that his mom, let's just say, really wanted to join him, which I can imagine. If one of my children left this earth, I'd probably want to join them too. But because she had these other children, she has really brought herself to now. Like, she's like, no, I have to stay here for these children. I have to stay here for these children. He is telling me that his mom recently, let me backtrack. He stopped me. I thought it was his mom, but actually I'm seeing a female that has recently, they were getting a plate or a glass out of the cupboard and dropped it, and it broke. Okay, so let's see who this fits. I have this young man. I'm hearing David around him, David Jr. He is taking responsibility for his own passing. He's letting me know that it was a time where he had been prescribed medication and it had been changed, and that was when he took his own life. It wasn't a self-medication. It wasn't like he was out doing street drugs. He's also showing me that he is one of several children, and Prissy Nana, she's so funny. It's not me, but I break everything I touch. Same. He is showing me that his mom, or a female around him that is still on planet, has recently, he shows me them reaching up to the cupboard and they're either grabbing a glass or a plate and it's breaking. Does this fit anyone on here? I want to thank everyone who is liking and sharing my live. We are going to just put him on hold for a moment. And I'm going to ask, let's see, Miss Rose 6688 to go live. Let's see if she can. You did that the other day. He's not yours, Miss Prissy Nana? Yeah, she did say no. She's breaking things though, so. Hi, Rose. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Now, your name is Rose, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, very good. All right, Miss Rose, where are you located?
I'm in Chicago.
Chicago. I
Yeah.
have been meeting, so I have a lot of people that I know there from Chicago, and I've also had a lot of people in my life from Chicago. What y'all doing over in Chicago? Having parties?
Well, but it's too hot these days. But yeah, we do have parties in the summer.
All right, what can I do for you today, Rose? Do you want cards or do you want okay, I'm just going to ask you a question. Are you into spirituality? Have you studied spirituality a lot? Are you open to the spirit world already?
I am open. I'm trying to learn to study.
Very
Yes.
good. Okay,
Yes.
so for Rose and everyone who is watching, the reason I asked that is because the second Rose popped on my screen, I had a guide step up. Now, does everyone have guides around them? Absolutely, they do, but guides don't usually step up right away because of my own rules, unless it's someone who believes in guides, who has had contact with their guides, who has some kind of knowledge of them. So I know that Rose had knowledge of this guide. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Miss Rose, is it okay if I bring forward this guide?
Yes, please.
Are you familiar with your guides?
I talk to them.
Very good. That's what you need to do.
Yes.
There is this lady stepping forward, and she has so much wisdom, and I just feel the need to put my shoulders back and with my head held high. She is letting me know, where are you from?
I'm from Africa, Uganda.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. I thought I was going crazy for a moment. She is dressed in well, I don't know if it's traditional. This is probably where I'm going to show my ignorance when it comes to other cultures. But she's dressed in what I would consider traditional African garb. She has a head wrap on her head that's very colorful.
Yes.
She is wearing, I don't know, something over her shoulder that wraps around her body that is the same color as this turban. And it is a bright red and yellow intermixed. She's letting me know that it's time for you, Rose, to start opening up to the innate power in which you were sent to this earth with.
Yes.
You bring a lot of that power. I mean, the African continent is so powerful when it comes to connection to Gaia. And it is really time for you to start stepping into that divine feminine, that Gaian energy. This lady is telling me that she comes to you a lot. I don't know if you burn sage or incense, but
I do.
Yes. So, because
Yeah.
I'm seeing this smoke coming up, I wasn't quite sure if it was sage or incense. So
Incense.
okay. So this is proof for everyone watching. This is what a guide will do when they step up. They will give proof that they are around you by showing me things that I wouldn't know.
Yes.
When you sit in meditation, now what she is showing me, Rose, I don't know if you can see me if you're watching me, but
I can see you, yes.
okay. What she's showing me is I see this going up and I see you start doing this. Whenever you meditate, do you move? When you channel, do you move? Do you rock or anything?
I do.
Very good. Okay, so again, her guide is doing such a phenomenal job of proving that she is around, that I have Rose's guide because she is showing me things I couldn't possibly know. So she is showing me that whenever you're doing that, Rose, whenever you have this incense burning and you I know it's harder. Well, what I'm going to tell you is easier said than done.
Yes.
But to make sure you make an effort to move your ego out of the way, you are so close to channeling that full vibration.
Yeah,
And
because
she
I'm
is
having a
here.
hard time.
Yes. It is difficult. And for anyone here watching, I mean, the level of channeling I'm talking about here with Rose is, I mean, it's something big here. And she is saying that you're almost there, to just keep working on it. It is not about you. What she's showing me is each time you do that, you move your ego, you're able to remove your ego just a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And then eventually one day it's going to happen.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I'm also seeing that when you embrace that full energy, and this happened to me actually when I was channeling on Sunday, because it was such a high vibration and it hit me really quickly. I was going to say I started crying. I wasn't really crying, but water was coming from my eyes, right?
mm-hmm.
And she is saying, don't be surprised if that happens.
Oh, okay.
She is very proud of what you're doing. She's very proud of you starting to stand true to who you are. For a little while, she is showing me you kind of just being a little bit trying to fit in too much is what she is saying.
Oh my goodness.
And eventually you're like, you know what? I can't fit in. I have to be authentic to myself. I'm abandoning myself by not being authentic to who I am. And so she wants to give you encouragement for just what a beautiful job you have done in that.
Well, thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you for joining today, Miss Rose.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Bye. All right. Her guide stepped up and did a really good job. I want to thank everyone who is liking and sharing this live. If you haven't done so yet, please. Oh, am I supposed to be done? I'm already supposed to be over on.
It's almost 50, so.
Oh, okay. I'm going to hang out here for a little while longer. I'm currently supposed to be over on Instagram, but I'm going to hang out here for a little bit longer. I don't know. I'm just feeling the need. Feeling the need to hang out here for a little bit longer. Somebody must need something. I want to thank everyone who is liking and sharing my live. Y'all are doing a great job today. I appreciate you being here. If you haven't done so, please click that follow button. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but I have, sometimes I don't even remember consciously why I did it or acknowledge. I was sitting here and all of a sudden someone had been commenting on one of my videos. It's like, I'm going to do a card read for them. So if you comment on my videos that I post on a daily basis, I've just been picking randomly people to give card readings for. So remember that. All right, so Miss Rose, I was drawn to her and her guide came through strong. Let me tell you, that lady was, it's like I have to shake that energy. I want to thank everyone so much who is liking and sharing my live. I so appreciate you. We're going to move on to back to Spirit Led. Let's see what we have here. There is this lady is stepping up and she brought so much with just like the way she entered. Okay, let me break this down. This lady is showing me she was probably about 5'4", maybe a little bit shorter. She was a very portly lady. She's showing me, she was overweight to the point where even her feet were, like she would put her feet in shoes and they would kind of, she had a hard time finding shoes to fit her feet because they were, I was trying to say they were wide. And she's like, honey, those feet were fat. You can say it. I was trying to be kind. When she came in, she is showing me that she is carrying a Bible. She was very religious. She took any opportunity she could to preach the word of Jesus, she is saying. Preach the word. Actually, that's what she said. I added the Jesus. She's saying preach the word. So there you go. She was like, because she looked at me, she said, I didn't say that. You're right. She did not say that. I added the last part. She's saying preach the word. She is showing me, I'm hearing an I name around her. Now, I'm not convinced it's her name. Now, earlier when I said that, when I said, oh, I'm hearing this Greg name around this guy, you didn't hear me say, I'm not convinced it's not his name, because I really felt like it was his name. On her, I'm hearing this I name, and I'm not convinced it's her. Like Izzy, Isabel, hearing this I name around her. Bobby, please do try meditation. I'm going to come back to this person right here. If you are struggling on, also try my Divine Collective. I mean, if you are someone who needs support on your spiritual journey, go to the Divine Collective. We meet, I have meditations on there that I record for what I feel like is going on for the month. There are journal prompts. We meet a couple of times a month. Thank you, Katie. Katie says it's great. We meet a couple of times a month. We're learning cards. We talk about intuitive abilities and how you tap into your intuitiveness. Now, it's not as, it's not like the class. The class, we are there to learn mediumship. We are there. So the Divine Collective is more about a slower paced, how you navigate life. Then we're going to do my next teaching is about honoring yourself, showing up as your authentic self, and how that can spread into the rest of your world. And so that's what the Divine Collective is, if you're interested. Okay, this lady is showing me that she is about 5'4". She's very portly. She had, her words, fat feet.
Daisy asked Peggy.
Who asked that, Peggy?
Daisy asked if Peggy.
You know, honestly, whenever someone asks me a name, then I can't use it, because when you give me information, then it's in my head. So I could easily say, yes, it's Peggy, but that might not be so. So if the rest of the information fits, then I would accept her. No, Daisy, never be sorry. These are all learning opportunities. It's how you learn to see an authentic medium. It's how, now if you were someone who had been to me a lot and we had this trust factor, I might let some of those rules go lackadaisical a little bit. But because this is a public forum, we need to make sure we are following the letter to the T. And so once I'm giving information, I can't use it. So this lady is showing me, she was very religious. She is showing me carrying her Bible every day. She is showing me, oh, I look 25. Thank you. I'm 55. I don't have a filter on here, but you'd think I did. She is also showing me that she took every opportunity she had to preach the word. She is showing me, even with her, within her religion, what is those people? It's not the Mormons, the other ones that come and knock on your door. Who are they?
Latter-day Saints.
No, that's Mormons, Latter-day Saints.
Oh, Jehovah's Witness.
Jehovah's Witness. She feels like that. Thank you. Yeah, Jehovah's Witness. Okay, Miss Daisy said that's her.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't know she was talking to me or you.
Oh, I'm assuming Daisy was talking to me. We'll see when she pops on my screen.
Hey, get ready, Daisy.
Yeah, hi Daisy.
It might be her. I'm still listening for stuff.
Where are you located, Daisy?
I'm in Idaho.
All right, Idaho. Okay, so now did this lady have did she belong to a church where they just were really about going out into the community and preaching the word?
Yes, and she actually did some missionary work.
Very good. Very good. So that's what she was showing me. I knew it wasn't Jehovah's Witness. I didn't feel like it was that religion, but she was showing me going out and preaching the word, like the Jehovah's Witness do. And that's how she was always preaching the word. And so who was this to? Is this your aunt?
No, this is my mother-in-law, my husband's mom.
Your mother-in-law. Very good. All right. She's saying, have you recently not been feeling well, Daisy? Like in the last year, did you have an illness that really took you down that you had to recover from?
I'm struggling recently, but not within the year.
Okay, so recently you've been ill.
Yeah, our family keeps getting sick over and over again.
She keeps telling me that you're on the right track. Because she was saying it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And I said, what's going to be okay? And then she made me feel ill. So I knew that you had either been ill or you were currently ill. So it makes sense that I was feeling long term to it because you said your entire family keeps getting sick over and over and over.
Yep. Constantly.
Mm-hmm. I'm just asking her, I was like, okay, what do we need to do about that? She is showing me, you're not going to like this, Miss Daisy. She is showing me going to your cupboard and just taking everything out. And I feel like you are a very healthy shopper. Like you try to feed your family in a very healthy manner. Is that correct?
I try to. I just recently scheduled an appointment with a natural doctor that does dietitian stuff too. My mother-in-law was very natural. She barely went to the doctors, and she actually ate very healthy.
That is why she is preaching that then. Because she
all the processed food. I could hear her saying that, right?
Yeah, what she did, she took me to a cupboard and just cleared it out, like get all that junk out of there. And she was showing me, good, so you're not shocked that your mother-in-law is stepping up with this. It's not unusual for people when they had a love or a passion on earth to still preach about it from the other side. She is talking about, the things that she is showing me specifically, I'm sure you already know, but I'm going to tell you anyway. She's showing me processed foods, and she's showing me red dyes.
Yep.
She's also showing me gluten.
Yeah, so me and my daughter, Clara, are gluten intolerant.
Okay, very good.
We've gotten the other kids tested, and they were negative, but she was not into the red dyes. I remember getting cupcakes with the frosting on top, and she'd get so upset during the birthdays because of all the red dye and all the junk that was on top of the frosting.
So I just have to laugh that she's still coming back from heaven preaching about the red dyes.
She hates the red dyes.
She still doesn't like, she's in heaven not liking the red dyes, Daisy.
Yeah, she doesn't. No.
Okay, so she is showing me all of that. I keep hearing anti-inflammatory. There is an anti-inflammatory diet that's, just basically kind of a whole foods diet. But she's showing me that, like taking out all the inflammatory foods. And she is saying just quality, like not necessarily getting rid of everything, but just buying quality and making sure it's organic. And I know there's been some back and forth on organics, whether it's good or not. I'm just telling you what this lady is saying.
She believes 100% that organic is better, and she was a 15-year survivor of breast cancer because of her diet. So there you go.
Well, you
You
know,
don't even know.
my husband, who is my moderator, is on the other side laughing. And I don't know how long you've been following me, Daisy. Have you been following me for a while?
I just started following you today.
Very good. Guess what? I have stage 4 breast cancer and I completely revamped my diet 2 years ago. And there have been a couple of people that have contacted me, like friends, not friends, but followers, telling me that one of their loved ones was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer about the same time as me, and they are no longer on this planet.
Oh, wow.
And some of the things that she is telling me to tell you are absolutely things I did in the beginning. And I was a little bit hesitant. So if anyone has watched me read, you probably noticed this reading being a little bit more jerky than they usually are. Usually I'm much more da-da-da-da-da. But I was like, oh my goodness, it just felt like it fit me, and that is why. So sometimes Spirit will step up to not only encourage my client, but also encourage me. And so this lady is also giving me a pat on the back saying I'm doing the right thing. So I appreciate her today.
Yeah, I would always talk to her on the phone, and she would always explain to me like what foods to give to my kids, because I have one that's super constipated all the time. But we've been struggling with money, so we use the food pantries a lot, and the food pantries have a lot of junk in them.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they
She's
do.
rolling around in her grave, like not happy.
I'm sorry, I was turning to her, it's like, what can we do about that? And so she is showing me, she's showing me having beans as the basis in a good way. Like make this quinoa dish that has black beans in it. She's showing me that. She is showing me like making tacos and putting a lot of beans in the meat. So she is saying to start using the beans more, that they are healthy. They've gotten a bad one.
That's so funny that you said that, because when we were cleaning out her house, she was like a survivalist. She always had like a ton of food. She has bags and bags and bags of beans and rice and just an incredible amount of beans. And I'm like, why so many beans? That would be why.
That is why. So it's, I think that she's done a beautiful job of continually confirming who she was throughout this reading by just that you're like, oh my goodness, she did this. Oh my goodness, she did that. She's done a really good job. And she's also here to encourage you. She's just showing me you kind of pulling back and taking a step back and reevaluating the diet. And she's saying, go back to basics, go back to basics. Sometimes we want to get too fancy with our foods and it just makes us put unhealthy things in them.
Yeah, we live in a house that we're struggling that has mold issues too. So it's been since we moved into this house, how we eat. We've all been just sicker than a dog, but we have an opportunity to move to a different house soon. So we're hoping it works out.
Definitely take that. Thank you, Daisy. Thank you for taking your mother-in-law today.
And she doesn't have fat feet. She does. She probably thinks she does, but she doesn't have fat feet.
She said that's your perception. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
All right. Daisy did a really good job. The mother-in-law did a good job. I appreciate her. I want to thank everyone who is liking and sharing my live today. I very much appreciate you. These spirits have been on fire today, haven't they? I hate to leave everyone, but I do need to go over to Instagram because I made the commitment that I was going to go live on Instagram today, and I'm already about 15 minutes late for that. I knew that there was a message that needed to come through, and it's so funny that this lady, today, the client that I just read, she has not followed me, so she didn't realize what she was saying. But this lady was talking about how her diet had completely helped her survive breast cancer. And the client had no idea. Was diagnosed a couple of years ago with stage 4 cancer. So a lot of times, whenever you're reading someone, you will get as many messages from this spirit as you're giving. It's just a beautiful, beautiful journey. If anyone is interested in starting that journey, I start Intro to Mediumship on Wednesday. I would love to see you there. I've never had someone not be able to read a spirit when they leave that class. All right, thank you. I will see anyone who wants to join me over on Instagram. I hope to see you there. Thank you, Prissy Nana. Thank you, Daisy. See you over there, April.